by and large, there are a few things that if you have not lived through, you'll have no context. It'll be like gibberish to you, but many of you have lived through quite a bit, right? And you may be searching for understanding of certain things. Please don't get too distracted by these conventional things that are happening, thinking that we're solely immersed in conventional happenings in these last days. They are going to abruptly change quickly, and but the spiritual component to things, when they begin to manifest, the toll the spiritual realm can take once it begins to manifest is enormous. Some of you guys who are listening to me, you're not thinking about that enough, how much of a toll it can take. Now, some of you have already been immersed into part of the spiritual realm, which has taken a great toll, right? We discussed a couple times about a binary system, right? Did you ever realize that with the return or with the close proximity of another system coming close to us, did you ever entertain that in this other system could be other elements you're going to have to deal with? I'm sorry, there's no one who has a leaked document about this. There's no one who has anything about this and can keep. The only thing you can do with this is discern it. But there are folks who have gathered up warehouses of evidence dealing with this subject, because man, those elitists you guys talk about, they had to know what this was. And the majority of the money has been poured in to know exactly what this was, because whatever this was is coming again, and it's right here in Revelation, because it was also here before. And they will never tell you if something is going to hit the earth. Who would do that? Why in the world would they ever do that? But some of the findings they dig up even to this day, right? Give a clue to it. If you find a clue to that, that's when they come and get you. You'll not hear anybody talking about that, because they'll come and get you. They will shut your mouth.
About the eons of time here making its path. And what I was able to prove that is this object does not really have a stable orbit, and that if you were to pull a set time out of the hat, that the 3,600-year orbit does not apply to this. It would be closer to 360 year.
Really?
And yes, now it doesn't always pass close to Earth. It makes its orbit around the sun. Earth, it's only if Earth is in the same month or zone that it's crossing, because it comes in, let's say at the end of August, circles the sun and exits around March. So if Earth happens to be in those months at the time, then we have some of these major events that's also documented in the Bible and many other cultures. And using this model that the Chinese, Korean, and Japanese astronomers, with this model that we're able to formulate, what's unique about it, that it gave us a 150 to 152 day separation between entry and exit, and both of its path is on the planetary plane of Earth, crossing Earth's path twice. This was quite startling, and actually I wanted to actually reject it or prove it wrong, because when a larger object is on Earth's planetary plane even once, that's something that's very serious. And this object is proving out to be that it crosses Earth's path twice in the same orbit. And so what was the next step was to prove whether or not it was repeatable. This is the orbit that we were able to plot from the data, and and then we also took some of the accounts that were listed in Europe, and but they weren't as accurate as giving us a position in the sky. We only have like it was in the sky at a certain time and date from the but the Chinese gave us a lot more data. So whenever we overlay this, it matches the time and place that the European had seen this. And as you can see in this graph right here, you can see how the elliptical orbit is. This green circle here is Earth's orbit, and between this is March and this is the end of August. That's 150 to 152 days separation between. That happens to match some of the stories in the Bible, like in Noah's flood. When it started to rain, it only rained for about 40 days. Then the earth was flooded. And then 150 days later is when there was a great wind, which I believe was a impact blast from another meteor when it crossed the debris field at 150 days later. And that actually knocked off or ejected 71% of our crust from the opposite side. And that's why you have Pangaea, where the continents are, together at that time, because the crust was holding it as one unit. And then after this blast, which is the Gulf of Mexico is the largest crater on Earth. If you take a look at a map, you can see a lake that's cut in half around near Florida, and a large crater has like a double rim. You can see the second rim off of Florida if you use Google Earth. And if you had the underground topography of the Gulf, I could show you where in the center of the Gulf is a flat plain called the abyssal plain, and in the center of that plain is the Sigbee Knolls. They're I'm not quite sure how wide they are, but at least 60 or so miles across, I would say. And it's an elevated area, like little peaks.
Yeah.
The rest of it around it is a flat plain, which is typical to a crater. Now, the only reason why they want to reject such an impact is because there's two levels of heat with such a large hit. You have the initial blast, and then there's